Hi, this is Chris Gay with Best Lightroom Training, and which is a division of Bella Vita Studios. And I'm on the phone tonight with Lisa Schaaf from Arizona. She's a professional photographer, and she's taken an on-site workshop with me before. And what I wanted to do was just do a quick phone interview with her, a testimonial from her, and have her talk a little bit about the difference between learning from, let's say, books and podcasts and videos on YouTube and all these other sources and trying to assimilate all that on your own versus learning from someone directly and specifically from someone with teaching experience. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the call over to Lisa and let her talk a little bit.
Okay. Hi, Chris. How are you?
Good. It's good to talk to you again. Thank you for doing this, by the way.
No problem. So, do you just want me to go ahead and start talking?
Just go ahead. It's a real phone call with a real person, and this is just to give people who are considering doing some online class training with me, it's just to give them an idea of what it's like to learn from someone directly and another photographer's perspective on the difference it makes to learn from someone that has experience with teaching. So go ahead.
Okay. Well, first, and I think most importantly, is the information is very well organized. It follows a logical pattern. And, of course, then it just makes things very simple because you're not jumping around with the material, and then you're like, what is that? What are they talking about? So it's really nice because you start from the beginning and you just kind of move, straight through all the material until you get to the end, and you present it really well. And I think the teaching experience, of course, the lesson planning and all that experience really helps because you really can anticipate questions and already have some prepared answers, or you actually will answer questions before people can even ask them automatically. So I think that's really helpful. And the other thing, you enunciate really well, and that's really important too, because I've done a lot of online things, and you miss things, or I'm like, going, what are they saying, or trying to catch things. So it actually, the whole presentation, I think, is critical, and having that teaching experience really makes it real smooth and easy to follow and understand.
Great. Okay, that was a wonderful explanation. I really appreciate it. Now, one last thing that I wanted to ask you your opinion on for everyone who's listening, and basically what we're doing is we're posting these recordings, talking with real photographers who've worked with me before, who are just considering taking an online class or purchasing other items from me. But in this interview, we're talking about training, so we'll be talking about people who are considering online classes. So now you and I had met before with a photography seminar, and then I taught my workshop kind of as an add-on before and after that. And you took the one that was before the other seminar with me for the day. If you could just take a second and talk about the difference between traveling, because you're in Arizona, and you traveled here kind of to the Midwest when you did the other workshop. If you could talk a little bit about the difference between flying cross country and the expense and the hotel and the, taking time away from your family. So I know some people work a day job still or another job. They have to take time off from that versus having the ability to take the class online, and your opinion of that, and what kind of value you think that brings to training.
Okay. Well, of course, anytime you have to travel anywhere, and yes, it was, it was flying, almost halfway across country, you have a lot of expenses. I mean, I think just flight, hotel, food, all that was, can roughly be around $1,000. And then, I've got school-age kids, and my husband, travels also for his work. So then I've got to make arrangements for someone to watch my children, get them to school, get them to their extracurricular activities. So if I can do the training online and still feel like, everything is being presented clearly and it's a very information-packed workshop, I would much rather do it that way. I mean, both in time and money, it's just a really great savings.
Right. And the technology nowadays, we actually use GoToMeeting and GoToWebinar, two different products from the same company, but we send practice images out ahead of time. It's very interactive and hands-on, kind of like if we're in the same room together at a workshop, and I'd be up front with my laptop with a projector so everybody could see my screen, and then everyone else is there with their laptop, and we're working together, and I'm sometimes walk around the room and check on individual students. What's really cool about these online classes is that I can switch the screen from my screen to any of the students in the class, and we can check on them, just like me walking around the room. So, it's kind of like that teaching experience comes back in. I still want to check on everybody and make sure they're doing okay. And I want to make it very interactive and hands-on by having everybody work on the same set of images. I demonstrate it first with some of the images, and then I say, okay, now you're still on audio with me, but flip from your internet screen to your Lightroom. And I also teach classes on Lumipix and Photoshop, but I have them switch to their software, and then they go and practice the same technique. So it's just really cool, I think, the technology that we have nowadays for learning is just really wonderful.
Well, and I think the fact that they are doing that at the same time is huge too, because normally on a lot of the seminars you're just listening, and if you do try and follow along, you kind of lose focus, and you know what I mean?
Right.
You stop listening to the webinar and then you're doing something else, whereas if you're doing interaction and you're saying switch over and giving them time to actually practice what you just said, then that information is just imprinted, even
right.
more.
The retention is there. They retain how to do it because, it's not hands-on like, we're physically handling stuff, but it's hands-on on the computer.
Right.
So, yeah, it's very cool, the technology that's available nowadays. So yeah, I hope to have you in some of our classes. We got Lightroom 101, we've got Lightroom 201, Lightroom 301, and now Lisa's taken a workshop with me before. But so yeah, there's a couple different levels available, broken up into 2-hour segments, easy to do, and still have a class through the day, class in the evening, and not take too much time away from the family. And it's good stuff. So, Lisa, thank you so much tonight for taking a couple of minutes just to talk with everyone. I think it really means a lot to hear from a real person.
Oh, you're very welcome.
So, yeah, I think it lends a lot of credibility to the testimonial. So, thank you very much. I'm going to let you get back to your evening tonight. But what we're going to do is I'm going to take this audio recording and I'm going to make just one little title slide that has your name and then my name and contact info. And it's going to be a slideshow with just one slide. But they'll hear us talking and hear the interview, and they'll be able to hear your comments and your thoughts on things when they're considering doing some online training. So.
Well, great. Are they can you take out all my ums?
We're going to leave them in there for both of us.
I'm not the teacher.
That's real. It's very real. And I really do. I think that lends credibility to it, that it's a real person giving you the thoughts on it. So don't be embarrassed. I have sounds in there, too. It's all right. So,
okay.
All right. Well, thank you so much.
All right. Thanks, Chris.